The final countdown. Doodaloo-doo. Doodaloo-doo-doo. I wonder if they'll copyright that. That will be interesting. We're going short and sweet this week. We're going right into our expectations, and then I have a little message at the end of the video. So here we go into expectations. Expectation numero uno. It's your Google form. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be. It's been 10 weeks of this. So you guys know it. I know it. The Google form. You fill it out. You keep me up to date on how things are going on your end. I then look at all of those, respond to those as necessary, and please let me know if you're having any issues. If you don't want to write it in the Google form, feel free to send me an email and ask whatever it is, the question that you have. If it's not covered in the Google form, be sure to reach out separately and I'm happy to respond. Expectation number 2. You're culminating. Nothing new here. Same culminating as last week, but we're working on the different parts. So you did hopefully part 1, 2, and 3 last week. If not, then this is a great time to get caught up on that because we're moving on as well to part 4 and 5 this week. So you're doing self and then St. James 2020-2021. So looking towards the future. For self, there are 5 questions. You're only going to choose 2 of the questions to answer. So make sure you read through those and pick the 2 that speak to you. And then for part 5, there's only 2 questions there. And if you're using the culminating outline shell, they'll already be filled in for you if you just made a copy of those slides. So that's where we're moving forward this week. Commonly asked questions that I want to address. Specifically for part 3, people were asking about, for the one thing that we covered in class that will stick with you moving forward. A few people asked about using the gratitude journal or the idea of gratitude moving forward, if that could be your example. Absolutely. If you enjoyed doing not just gratitude journaling, but if you enjoyed venturing into practicing gratitude, then that's something you can speak to for sure. And then the other question that I assume some people might have is for part 5, what advice would you have for incoming grade 9s? Some of you wrote about advice that you'd have in the passion project and you were asking if you could reuse your advice that you gave. Absolutely. And if you came to some conclusions based on what other people were saying as well for advice for grade 9s, for sure, you can pull from those ideas and put them in your own words and write about them for part 5. So yes. Just a reminder about the culminating as a whole. I am not looking for you to give me the right answer. I'm looking for you to dig deep and reflect on your own journey. Okay? So there won't be plagiarism in this assignment because it's based on your own events, right? And some people were asking the Zoom call about what I'm looking for in terms of when it says explain, or why do you think this is the case, or when it says why. What I'm looking for there is if you're answering a question like, has your friend group changed since elementary school? You could answer with yes, and that is an answer. But if you are able to say, yes, my friend group has changed, these are the ways it changed by me going into classes with different students and me experiencing different clubs or sports that I might have joined, or going to the same places for lunch as some people, or realizing that I walk the same way home as some other people. And then if you even want to go further and name some of those people or something that you value in that connection, that is going into level 4 territory in terms of giving good detail and explanation. Okay? So it's really getting into looking into your own journey and your own experience. It's not something that you're going to be sharing with others, so it's only information that's going to be shared with me, so don't be worried about names that you put in there. And that's all this week. We will be back next week to fill out a couple forms, and there will be a bit of a video and our last Zoom call next week. We do have a Zoom call this week as well, which is a great time for you to ask final questions or to ask for some feedback on your assignment before it's finally handed in. But in the words of my parents, it's time to put your head down and get the work done, because I know that there's a lot of things going on peripherally right now, and that's valid, and I honor those things that are going on. There is that feeling still of a loss of community because we're away from people, and there is that feeling of being scared that there is a global pandemic going on, and we are all trying to navigate properly through that pandemic, as well as a civil rights movement during this pandemic. So I think that it's important to think about future you when you look back, or when people ask you, whether it's possible children you have or nephews, nieces, people that you meet in the future, when people ask you during 2020, what was that like? What was it like going through those things? Are you going to say, you know what, it was difficult, but I proved that I was resilient and I got what I needed to done to get me forward and to move me forward so that I can be in the place that I am today? That's something that you just need to think about. And if you are feeling like you're struggling and you need to reach out right now, I'm all ears. So please reach out if you need help or assistance with anything. I am more than happy to talk about that. But this is the time. This is the time to get that work done if you can. And if not, please reach out. Okay? So have a great week. Like I said last week, you've got this. You can do this. Okay? We'll see you later.